planned to film this video, but Sammy's not great. I've just taken him off the field and he's, trigger warning, if you don't like blood, probably don't watch this video and maybe like skip to this time here. But he's had a nosebleed and he's bled all over me. I don't know if you can see, and the right side of his face is swollen up, so love that. Good job sir. He still seems pretty himself, like he's alert and all that thing. I'm just gonna grab some cotton wool to clear up his nose. I've got some like MSM, or I might use Sudocrem just in case of the cut, because I haven't really been able to see because he's been in a stable, but he's licking his lickets and his salt licks, so I think he's gonna be okay. We'll find out. Gonna do a little bit of investigating. Yeah, he doesn't seem that distressed, I don't think. So here he is. I don't know if you can see on his nose, it's a little bit red. I tried wiping it off quite well, but I'm going to come back in it a bit because he was getting a little bit annoyed. Hello, you don't wipe more blood on me. I don't know if you can see, but that side of his face is a little bit swollen. I'm thinking fly bite, because I remember with Fred that happened once, that one side of his face got a little bit swollen from a fly bite. You can see like his eye is not quite as happy. Look at that tongue. So I think it's gonna be fine. I can't see a bite or a cut to put any Sudocrem on or to try and help it heal. He did have a fly mask on, so I don't really know how it's happened. I mean, he's still trying to eat the phone, so that's pretty normal, but like, it's just, he's just not correct, like happy and 100%. Like, that's one eye and that's the other one. Hold up, I found it. I think there's like a little bite there. So there's that there, which he's not happy really 100% of me touching, but all around here is just swollen, like it's squidgy, which isn't how it should be. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go in and try and clear up a little bit more of the blood. Hey, don't do that. I know. But he's being a very good patient and I'm very proud of him. So I just blurred a kettle so that we can have a bit more like sanitized water. I don't know if that makes sense, because I'm just getting a little bit from the hose to use on his face, because I just want to clean his like tiny little cut out, make sure that yeah it stays clean. And then his nose has started bleeding again, so I'm just going to go through and wipe that all up. But I am going to brush his face as well, just in case there's any more nicks hidden under any dirt. Like, I don't know how this happened, because he literally was wearing a fly mask. He's a special little guy. It's quite impressive. Gotta give him credit where credit's due. So after I'd got all my water ready and I'd taken it out of the tack room, I then started dabbing away his face. I used a cotton wool ball just so I could really get in there and clear away any of the dirt, or if there was any infection, then I could sort of try and do as best as I could. So I'm just breathing really slowly and trying to do it, I don't know, as thorough but not like jamming his face, because I really had no idea what was going on. It took a little bit of time, but I managed to do the best I could. The poor little guy. Don't eat. So although clearly being in a lot of pain, he was still really interested. He's quite a curious little guy, until he got bored really. He's decided that this is boring and he really wants to eat. Oh, are you coming back? Hello? Hi. Can I finish cleaning your nose? No, you can't eat it. It's for cleaning. I think he's trying to lick it because I put a little bit of salt in the water to try and clean better, and obviously he really likes the taste of salt. But I think that's as clean as I'm going to get it for now. As you can see, he's sort of been wiping his nose on everything. Yeah, you have. So I'm gonna pick out Maria's feet, I'm gonna do some fields, and we can just keep him under a little bit of observation. Hello. I think you're gonna live. I think you're gonna be fine. He's just a little bit, I think, traumatized by the whole incident. I've no idea how he's in it. What a horse is like, eh? What are you like? I was actually planning on riding him, but I don't think that would be a very wise decision, even later on in the day, because, well, I mean, his bridle when you fit of his face is swollen up and probably not feeling his best. Which is so cute. Right, yeah, I'm gonna leave him. He's probably gonna have a sit and a lie down because an exhausting night. I think he's gonna be fine. Maybe I'm just telling myself that. Hello. Hello. No, don't eat my zip. You broke the last one. So with that, I left Sammy in his stable to kind of think over his actions while I sorted out the fields and the other horses. Sammy, don't do that. Sammy, you just put blood on my phone. Yes, he's still bleeding a little. Sammy, come here. So he's still bleeding a little bit and his face is still swollen. So I'm gonna keep him under observation. Sammy, that's actually rather rude. You cannot eat everything. It's not edible. I called my mum because I wanted to tell somebody, and I've kept a time log of all the things that when I first noticed and just like a little log of how he's feeling. This is how he normally acts. Like, he is a wheezy, sleepy horse, so this isn't out of character, and around this time he does normally have a sleep, but I don't know whether he's sleepy because of, you know, his face being like a balloon, or whether he's sleepy because it's nearly midday and he likes to have a sleep. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep him under observation, but I've got a couple of jobs to do, like, yeah, clearing up his blood that he's splattered outside his stable, and then I want to, I don't know if you can see, he's got like a licket that I bought him yesterday, and so I'm gonna give that a little bit of a clean because it's a bit dusty, because I've got to do that yesterday, and just, yeah, a whole bunch of little jobs which I can do while you try and recover. He is adorable though, and I really hope that you feel better. What's this? Let me give it a clean. Hello? No? Is it not tasty? You liked it yesterday. So before I realised that Sammy's was going to have a sore face, it was a lot worse than I thought it was, but you'll find out what I mean later on. I had planned initially to do like kind of a deep clean of the yard because trying to get it back to ship shape, so I was going to clean this anyway, and then I needed to also reorganise the tack room because it was getting a little bit messy, a little bit dusty, so this is why I was also doing this, not just to keep me preoccupied. So I don't know if you can see, but it is looking a little bit clearer. I took that liquid out because it was a little bit mouldy, and I thought, especially as he's not feeling 100%, it probably wasn't a good idea for him to keep it, but I kept the garlic one because I think it's alright. If he doesn't eat it, then I'll probably take it out because I do have another one there. Ta-da! It's all up, so now he can use his little brain if he wants to. He is currently trying to have a sleep, I think a standing sleep, but a sleep nonetheless. His nose is bleeding less and less, but there's still a bit of crusty blood, which is obviously fresh. But yeah, I think he wants a snooze, so I'm just gonna leave him. Not sure if it is because he's a baby horse, but he really does like having a nap during the middle of the day. I'm not making it up, I swear. So luckily from the tack room, I can actually see Sammy out the window, so I can keep an eye on him while I'm in here, because I mean I've been putting it off for a little while, but I need to give this place a little bit of a tidy, a little bit of a dust, because yeah, it's not great. So I'm gonna do that. I think I'm gonna tack this counter space first that we've created down, like some drawers, and then I can get on with some cobwebs and from this place, like a little sweep out and just making everything tidy, because like these are not meant to live here. Like, what's going on there? You know, maybe a little blessing in disguise. We're always trying to find a silver lining. Really overdoing it with the optimism there, Louise. But anyway, I did have a crack at trying to tidy it. So as I said, the counter space was very messy, so I sort of reorganised it, and then I'll move on to the pegs and the windowsill later. Update. My mum's here now, and we decided collectively that because it's nearly been it's been over an hour and it hasn't got any better, don't think it's got any worse. Like, maybe it's got slightly a bit better. We've called the vet, so he's gonna come have a look, see if he needs any antibiotics or anything. So hopefully it's all going to go well. My little child hasn't even been 6 months. Like, I love him so much, and I just want him to be happy and healthy. We're also moving his field tonight. Like, he went into a new field, so maybe there's something like he was allergic to in his new field, so we're moving him into a field with slightly less trees and slightly like a bit more grass but less trees and things that he could have himself on, because if it wasn't a fly bite, it might have been like one of the brambles or hawthorn. That's what we're thinking. Or maybe there was like a new plant he hadn't tried before in the field, which he's allergic to. There's also nettles, which I know horses can be allergic to sometimes, but then also sometimes they're really good. So we're just trying to eliminate things until we know. Yeah, hopefully it's all right. I think he's going to be fine. Yeah, as I said, I think I was really going hard on the optimism front. Might have overdone it a little bit. But anyway, here I am trying to sort out the pegs. So as you can see, each peg is almost labelled and there are specific things. And then I took everything off the floor to make sure I can give it a good sweep, because sometimes I feel like going in and out of the tack from a lot. I'd taken the mud and sometimes stones, because outside is gravel. So there's also bits of hay, but I feel like hay gets everywhere when you're having horses. So I kind of swept all that out, and then it was time to do the windowsill. So we kind of use this as almost like a shelf space. So it was really good to take it off, give the windows a dust because the spiders were kind of hanging out there, and then I could rearrange it and put everything back up where it was going to live. Still waiting for the vet, but I'm actually pretty proud of the tack room. It's looking pretty tidy. Yeah, I've just done that, and I've cleaned the floor, and the windowsill is clear, so I'm just trying to figure out an order to put everything in, because I don't want it to get messy or disorganised again. Probably will, but hopefully it won't. So after taking everything off the windowsill, it was then time to put it on. I tried to kind of like give everything a bit of a dust, bit of a clean before I put it back on. With some of the hoof oil stuff, it was a little bit hard because bits of hay had kind of stuck to it where the oil was. But anyway, once I'd figured out where everything was going to go, I then refilled everything. So all of the fly sprays and the show sheen I used to refill. And then here you can see everything where it needs to be. I thought it was sort of satisfying. But that could have been me. And obviously the next job is to put things away in the drawers. So we have like a washing drawer with all the shampoo and stuff, so they can live there. And then putting everything back on the floor. And I really need to go through this boot box because there were so many boots in weird places, and it was just a little bit of a mess. So obviously bandages could go in here right on the floor, and then pairing all the boots together. There were a lot of random boots though, so I tried my best. Okay, we still got Thunder's boots, which was kind of sad sorting through, but we still got a lot of his stuff to end up sorting through, but it's all right. I'm getting there slowly. And yeah, I think I put some stuff away in the drawers again, and ended up just putting Sammy's boots back in the box. So it's now like just slowly dying. It's like 1 o'clock-ish, and so luckily my mum's up there, so she can keep an eye on Sammy. Well, I'm gonna go and grab some lunch, and then hopefully the vet will be here, because he's currently off doing something else, which is fine. Like, it's not an emergency, but like this swelling hasn't really gone down, so hopefully everything is fine. So I went petrol station, and now I'm back, and I got my little meal deal. It was kind of expensive because, yeah, went petrol station rather than actual shop, because I was like, it's closer, I want to get back as soon as possible. I'm really hungry though, so I'm gonna eat. I can sort of see Sammy from here, so I can keep on my observation. Bet's gonna be here in about half an hour, so yeah, I think it'll be good. It'll be fun. I'm trying to keep optimistic, because if I don't, then I'll just get really stressed, and then it won't help anyone, because then he'll be stressed out. So we're trying to keep calm vibes, and yeah, just crossed everything's okay. But the vet pulled out the x-ray machine, and I realised it was a lot worse than we thought. So the vet came, which was a pretty good idea, because I think I was being a little bit optimistic. I still think he's going to be fine, but it turns out he's somehow whacked his head in the field, fractured part of his bone, which has cut the maxillary sinus, and then because he's cut the sinus, when he's breathing in, the air's being trapped underneath the skin, which is the swelling. So good job, sir. I mean, you've seen, he like whips his nose round, and probably, yeah, I forgot how big his head was, so silly. He's sedated, which is why he's even more sleepy than usual, and he was a little bit cross when he takes stuff out. He wasn't happy with getting an injection to be sedated, but after that he was fine. And yeah, he was a bit funny about the x-rays, because obviously, like, he's never had that done before. And he's got some painkillers, and I need to make up a feed for him so that he can get better with some antibiotics. But yeah, it's not really how I thought my day would go, but yeah, I just love him so much. I've got a little bit of time before I have to give Sammy his antibiotics, so I'm gonna finish up tidying in here, and then we can hopefully make him better. The vet told us to give him some feed with some antibiotics in to start off with, and then I had to go and give him the rest of his hay because he was sedated. Well, at least he can use his jaw.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's a chip rather than a.
Yeah.
It's not dislocated either. The fact that it's, you know.
So this is just all of the hay that I took out of his stable anyway, so I'm just giving it back to him because I said he was sedated so he can actually eat it, otherwise he'd probably die. So I'm actually quite like pleased with the little tack room that I managed to tidy up. It's a lot of time waiting, and I'm gonna have a little bit more time waiting because I need to get everything ready for tonight because we're gonna have to keep Sammy in, and although Maria and Tiny don't need to stay in because there are only 3 of them, either one would have to stay in with Sammy and then one would be have to go out alone, which isn't like, or either Sammy would have to be in on his own, and I don't know, like he's been out most of the time now, and so it wouldn't be fair of him to stay in on his own because I don't know, he's like, I don't think he's ever been, well, he has been in for like a whole day before, not by my choice, just how it's turned out. But they're all gonna stay in, so I need to make up a lot of hay nets because Maria and Tony are hungry little people, and make up some hay bags for Sammy because I think, and then I might put some more Oreos in Tiny's bed. Hopefully that will be fine. It's really not how the day was meant to go, but hey, that's the joy of horses. I'm thankful that it's not as bad as it could have been. Obviously it's worse than I thought it would be, but he's still alive and breathing, and I just hope that he gets better and everything sorts itself out because it's looking like 6 weeks of no riding, which we were thinking of maybe turning him away for a little bit anyway, so I guess it's just gonna happen a bit sooner. But I couldn't really hang around and be sad for too long because I need to make up all the hay nets and hay bags for the night because they were going to be staying in for the first time in quite a while. So I made up Tiny's hay nets and Maria's. I think I gave both of them 2 hay nets while Sammy had double in his hay bag. So Sammy has a couple antibiotics, so that one he is starting tomorrow and it's like a syringe, and then he's got some sachets of powder, which he has to have one of these twice a day. I need to go put some gloves on, and we've got a different steri stick so that it doesn't go in the other horse's feeds, and I might actually move his a little bit away from theirs just so that it doesn't go into their feeds. Have like a little bit more, I don't know what the word is, but like I don't really want to give the other 2 antibiotics if they don't need it, and painkillers and things like that, so we're just going to be a little sterile. That's the word I was going for. Just gonna be a little bit more sterile about it, and yeah, all good fun. So making their feeds was pretty normal. Obviously their feeds were pre-made because I like to make them pre-made to make my life easier, and then I'm not running around like a headless chicken. But here was Sammy's first dose of antibiotics. I probably did this badly, and the reason I'm wearing only 1 glove is because we had 2 gloves and I thought I'd save 1 for the next morning. It was said to wear eye protection, but we didn't have any of those, so I'm hoping that I didn't have any side effects or whatever. I feel fine, I think it's fine, but I was just trying to be as careful and safe as possible because, you know, horse antibiotics don't always tend to go well with humans. I could only find 1 glove. Well, there were 2 gloves. One I had to use earlier, so I thought I'd save this one for now. Oh, I meant to add water. Finishing off the feeds, I did add a bit of water to make it easier, and then I used a different steri stick, which is actually a broken one that for some reason we kept, but did, and I think it's a good reason so that we didn't mix antibiotics into any of the other horses' feeds, but he was quite happy to eat it all. This is another blood warning, but I'm actually like disgusted in him, so I mean if you've got this far you're probably not scared of blood. Looks like a murder scene. He obviously like snorted his nose and he started bleeding again. God. I gave him his bag at first because medicine and stuff, and I really don't want to give it to the horses and I don't want to stress them out. So whilst they were all eating their dinners, and as I said, Sammy really didn't care that there were antibiotics in it, I skipped out their stables, and because he's very intrigued by everything, he did come across and say hello to me and gave me some cuddles. Tiny also did the same thing, but I don't know, he's a bit more forceful when he's wanting cuddles and scratches, so I kind of had to push him away at one point, unfortunately. Tiny, okay. Yeah, he sort of held me captive against the wall until I scratched him and gave him cuddles and kind of all the attention that he deserves because he is the best horse in the universe and it's incredible and literally a golden child. Maria also wants the scratches, but she doesn't really like tools in her stables. She is 19 and we've known her for like literally ever, but she's never really liked people mucking out in her stable, so she wasn't really best pleased with me being in there. But I redid some hay nets, made some extra ones just because I was going to be up later. What? Oh, Sammy. Aww. Love you. So with that, I said goodnight to all the ponies, but I was going to be up later to do night checks on them just because of Sammy's little face. So I'm off to see Sammy for some late night checks, and I've literally been on edge for the last few hours. So I'm going in, checking him now, checking the horse, make sure they got enough food, and then Mum, because she's working late, she's going to go in super early in the morning, and then I'm going to follow up again in the morning. Horses, why are they so stressful? Alright, it's dark. I have a little friend. Somebody's grumpy, so I'm going to do some hay nets and check his face and see if he's alright. Here is the man. His nose is still a little bit bleeding, but it's not running or anything. And his face is definitely swollen down. You probably just put blood all over me. Wow, he's just been licking his soul. Like, I don't know if you can see where it is. Oh, there. So he's enjoying himself somehow, and his face has gone down, which is good. The vet said it might take a couple of days for it to go all the way down because it is air that's trapped in. It's not like normal swelling, which is wonderful. That's right, you guessed it, more hay, because these horses eat like anything. But yeah, I filled up hay nets and gave them to them because I didn't want them to be hungry. Sammy! As you know from like my last video and a couple of them, Sammy's hay is on the ground just so that he can stretch out his neck and just work a little bit more ergonomically. I think that's the word. I'm not really sure, naturally. But he didn't really seem to have a problem chewing with his jaw. So as you can see, he's been having fun with some hay. I think I'll give him a little bit more. Yeah, I think I'm going to give him a little bit more just because if he is feeling poorly, I know that I like having food, so I'm going to keep that. His water's nice and full, and yeah, he's still got his lick over there, and salt lick. He doesn't seem too cold either, so I'm not going to chuck a rug on him. Maria also got more hay too. I think she's had a lie down. She's got a shaving tool up her mane. At least she's feeling relaxed. And I think Tiny's had a bit of a snooze as well. Like, honestly, I wish I could just spend the night in his stable, but that's just not really feasible. I do feel happy though to leave him, but yeah, I just wish I could just like camp out and keep watch and like not have to sleep and just keep an eye on him. Definitely getting up to see the horses and Sammy at night really put my mind at ease because he was a lot brighter and he was a lot happier and just a lot more intrigued in things. He wasn't as dozy and sleepy as he was during the middle of the day, but I think that's because his antibiotics sort of kicked in. He was also starting to use his liquid again. He stopped because I was filming him, and he's got a lot better at them. He's really using his brain, which is why I've got them, because I thought he was getting a bit bored just being stuck in his stable. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed today's video. Maybe not. I didn't enjoy today's video. That's not what was meant to happen today. And let's all hope that things get better because I love them and I just want them to be happy and healthy, and yeah, see you in the next one. Bye! I was swim across the ocean to hold on to